Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Quote of the day is the only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing. Today, the topic of my presentation is hospital utilization statistics, and I am presenting it under the supervision of my professor, Dr. Saira Afzal. Learning outlines of the presentation are introduction of health statistics, importance of these statistics, types of utilization statistics, hospital utilization components, calculation of these, and recent advances. At the end of this presentation, participants will be able to describe about the introduction of hospital statistics, its components, how to calculate statistics, and recent updates regarding it. Now, introduction. Information obtained from hospital indoor and outdoor facilities regarding quality of care, utilization of services, quantity of services delivered, workload, and other hospital-related administrative and logistic affairs is called as hospital statistics. Now, importance of hospital statistics. The 10 great public health achievements that are identified by the CDC only made possible by the health statistics and research are: first is routine immunization of children, second is motor vehicle safety, third is workplace safety, and fourth is control of infectious diseases. There is the declines in death from heart disease and stroke, safer in healthier foods, healthier mothers and babies, family planning, fluoridation of drinking water, recognition of tobacco as a health hazard. Two major achievements in the 21st century made possible by the health statistics and research are: first is personalized medicine, that is, an individual's genetic profile and his or her unique biochemistry are used to customize treatment. For example, which medicines are likely to provide the best result with the fewest side effects. Other is disease modification. If a person is diagnosed early enough, it might be possible to inhibit the disease so that it never debilitates the person. For example, the current research on Alzheimer's disease aims to inhibit the progression of the disease. Disease modifying treatments are available for several diseases that develop slowly, including multiple sclerosis and rheumatoid arthritis. All medical personnel are involved in the audit of hospitals. However, administrators are only the observers most of the time. Now, types of hospital statistics. First is reports that are related to hospital beds, in which these are included daily census, daily average attendance, bed occupancy rate, bed turnover interval, bed turnover rate, total patient day care, vacancy rate, hospital beds, sanctioned beds, functional beds, and bed supply rate. Second is reports that are related to admission, discharge, or death. For admission are included daily admission and total admissions over a period. For discharge, daily discharge, total discharge over a period, and average length of stay. And deaths are also included: a daily number of deaths, total deaths over a period, total death over 48 hours, total deaths under 48 hours, net death rate, gross death rate, post-operative death rate, and anesthetic death rate. Third main is the workload statistics, in which are included total number of outputs, new cases, repeat cases, total number of operations, number of X-rays, average OPD patients per day, total cesarean sections per day, average number of food served per day. Fifth main component is hospital care evaluation statistics, in which are included post-operative complication rate, autopsy rates, percentage of agreement between final and pathological diagnosis, gross result of treatment, that is, patient recovered, improved, or not relieved. Indices related to population at risk. This is the fifth type, in which are included admission rate, hospitalization rate per person, and bed population index. Other types of classification include patient movement statistics, and other is morbidity statistics, which includes patients under various diagnoses, administrative statistics, manpower, material, money, finance, hospital service statistics, number of operations, utilization indicators. Now, what is admission? The formal acceptance by a hospital or other inpatient healthcare facility of a patient who is to be provided with room and continuous nursing service in an area of the hospital or facility where patients generally reside at least overnight. Admission rate, number of admissions per thousand population in a year. And what is discharge? Discharge from hospital is the point at which the patient leaves the hospital and either returns home or is transferred to another facility, such as one for rehabilitation or to a nursing home. Discharge involves the medical instructions that the patient will need to fully recover. Now, hospital beds. WHO defines a hospital bed as a bed that is regularly maintained and staffed for the accommodation and full-time care of a succession of inpatient and is situated in wards or a part of the hospital where continuous medical care for inpatients is provided. Total number of beds excludes bed complements of the hospital for normal healthy newborn babies in maternity ward, but includes incubators used for premature babies. Sanctioned bed. It is the official bed capacity of the hospital. For example, CMH Dhaka includes 1100 beds. Functional beds are, this is the actual functional status of the beds in the hospital. Now, what are bed days or patient days? A bed day is a day during which a person is confined to a bed and in which the patient stays overnight in a hospital. It is the unit of measure denoting the services rendering to one patient in patient day in the hospital. One full day is counted when admission before midday and discharge after midday. Patient day should not include data for healthy newborn infant. Bed supply rate is bed to population ratio. Bed supply rate, it can be calculated as number of beds available divided by the number of populations served and then multiplying it with 1000. Now, for example, in Bangladesh, zero point 0.6 beds per thousand population, while WHO standard is 5 beds per thousand population. Vacancy rate is if is 100 minus occupancy rate can be equal to bed days or inpatient days. Now, bed turnover rate, it measures the productivity of the hospital beds and it represents the number of patients treated per bed in a defined period, usually 1 year. For example, in a particular hospital, there were 2,358 discharges in the year 2019. Number of beds in that hospital in 2009 was 300. Now, hospital bed turnover rate is calculated as this. And in this example, 7.86 is the hospital bed turnover rate. Average daily census. Average number of patients in the hospital at a given time per day. This is the ratio of the total number of inpatient days, excluding newborn, to total number of days in the same period. Average daily census can be calculated as total patient days divided by number of calendar days in a period. For example, the total number of inpatient service days provided for the first week of May is 1729. Average daily census is calculated by 1729 dividing by 7 and it equals 247 in this scenario. Average length of stay. Length of the stay is a term which is used to calculate a patient's day for admission in the hospital till the day of discharge. That is the number of days a patient stayed in the hospital for treatment. A formula for calculating average length of stay is total inpatient days of care divided by total discharges. The average length of stay in the hospital is often used as an indicator of efficiency. All other things being equal, a shorter stay will reduce the cost per discharge. What is bed occupancy rate? Bed occupancy rate is the average occupancy of the hospital bed in percentage. It is the ratio between beds used and beds provided. The bed occupancy rate is calculated based on the midnight bed census at each hospital. For example, it can be the bed occupancy rate for Monday is based on the bed census taken at 0 hour Tuesday, like at midnight. The calculation formula is shown. 80 to 85% bed occupancy rate is ideal for good quality care of the patient. 15 to 20% beds are vacant for emergency, maternity, isolation, and intensive care. That is dead space beds. 100% occupancy means overutilization. Occupancy less than 80% is uneconomical. An example is given in the month of June, for example, 4,000 inpatients days were served in a hospital with 150 beds. Given the total number of inpatient days, 4,000, available beds, 150, had 30 days. So the number of days in the period is 30. Bed occupancy rate is calculated by dividing 4,000 multiplied by 100 and dividing by 150 into 30. And the bed occupancy, that is the finals in this situation, is 88.9% in this scenario. Now, bed turnover interval. Turnover interval, average length of time in days that elapses between the discharge of an inpatient and the admission of the next inpatient to the same bed. It is the average period in days that a bed remains empty. This slide shows a calculation of turnover interval. A formula is shown that available staffed bed days minus occupied bed days divided by inpatient discharges. Inpatient discharges include deaths, transfer out to other specialties, significant facilities, and transfers out to other hospitals. Interpretation is negative turnover interval indicates scarcity of bed and overutilization. Long positive turnover interval is the indicative of underutilization because of defective admission procedures or poor quality medical care. Short positive shows optimum utilization. And if it is zero, it shows when bed occupancy is 100%. Net death rate. We use the hospital net death rate, which refers to the total number of deaths occurring after 24 hours of admission, compared to the total deaths and discharges after 24 hours of admission per 1,000. The variables affecting hospital mortality were selected based on previous studies and data availability. Net death rate is determined by calculating death after 24 hours of hospital admission. Coming towards recent advances, an article recently published as the hospital utilization and characteristics of patients experiencing recurrent readmissions within children's hospitals. The article shows that early hospital readmission is emerging as an indicator of care quality. Some children with chronic illnesses may be readmitted on a recurrent basis, but there are limited data describing the rehospitalization pattern and impact. The objectives were to describe the inpatient resource utilization, clinical characteristics, and admission reasons of patients recurrently readmitted to children's hospital. Among a group of pediatric hospital, 18.8% of the admissions and 23% of the inpatient charges were accounted for by the 2.9% of the patients with frequent recurrent admissions. Many of these patients were rehospitalized recurrently for a problem in the same organ system. Another article published is cost of vaginal delivery and cesarean section at a tertiary level public health in hospital, Islamabad, Pakistan. It shows the average cost for a spontaneous delivery from the hospital side was about 40 US dollar, that is 2,688 rupees. And from patient's perspective, it was about 5,000 rupees. The average cost for a cesarean section from the hospital side was 10,000 rupees approximately, and 30 from patient side almost. The apparently free maternity care at a government hospital involves substantial hidden and unpredicted costs. The anticipated fear of these unpredicted costs may be a major factor for many poor households to seek cheaper alternate maternity health care. Now coming towards the MCQs. First MCQ is planning a new hospital starts with setting goals for the hospital, without which the organization cannot have a definite direction or focus. Which of the following areas is not considered by an organization while studying existing hospital facilities in an area? Option A is bed ratio, option B hospital occupancy, option C is physical condition of facilities, and option D is the perception of patients. Option D is the right one. Perception of the patient is the thing that is least considered because it is the factor that is not under the control of the in any organization or administrations. Second MCQ is a medical audit committee comprises professionals from different departments of a hospital. Which of the following may act only as an observer in committee meetings? Option A is head of medical department, option B nursing superintendent, option C administrators, and option D director of medical services.
D.
Option C is the right one because I've already said the administration has the least role. It acts only as the observer. Other all the departments are directly involved. Uh, Third MCQ is Mr. Ali was admitted in an hospital in his last day of life and was dead because of cardiopulmonary arrest. Death was recorded in a register in ward. Which of the following is determined by calculating death after 24 hours of hospital admission? Option A is gross death rate, option B is net death rate, option C is on the spot death rate, and option D is chronic death rate. Option B is the right one. Net death rate is calculated after 24 hours of hospital admission. Fourth MCQ is bed turnover rate measures productivity of hospital beds and it represents the number of patients treated per bed in a defined period. Usually that is 1 year. Bed turnover rate comes under which of the following types of hospital utilization component? Option A is reports related to admission. Option B, reports related to beds. Option C, reports related to workload. And option D, reports of vacancy.
B.
This comes
B.
under reports related to admission. Option A is the right one. Because this is the main. Fifth MCQ is 2020. Death rate for Pakistan was 6.8 per 1,000 people. The daily death rate comes under which type of hospital utilization component? Option A, reports related to admission. Option B, reports related to beds. Option C, reports related to workload. And option D, reports of vacancy. The main under which it comes is option A, reports related to admissions. Sixth MCQ is Mayo Hospital is a well-known hospital where patients get admissions almost every day. Which of the following measures productivity of the hospital beds and it represents the number of patients treated per bed in a defined period, usually 1 year. Option A is admission rate, option B is bed occupancy rate, option C is bed turnover rate, and option D is bed occupancy rate. Option C is the right one. Bed turnover rate is the correct answer. Seventh MCQ is Mr. ABC was admitted in CMH hospital for 5 bed days. A bed day is a day during which a person is confined to a bed and in which the patient stays overnight in a hospital. Which of the following is not included in the bed days? Option A, children less than 2 years. Option B, newborn children. Option C, terminally sick person. And option D, children having thalassemia.
B.
Option B is the right one. Newborn children are not included. However, the children that are premature under incubator are included in the bed days. Eighth MCQ is bed occupancy rate is a measure of utilization of the available bed capacity in the hospital and it indicates the percentage of beds occupied by patient in a given period of time, usually 1 year. Which of the following is considered as an indicator of good bed occupancy rate? Option A is 60 to 75%, option B 70 to 80%, option C 80 to 85%, and option D 90 to 95%.
C.
C.
Option C is the right one. 80 to 85% shows a good bed occupancy rate. Ninth MCQ is bed turnover interval is the average length of time in days that elapses between the discharge of one inpatient and the admission of the next inpatient to the same bed at specialty level significant facility over any period of time. Which of these shows optimum utilization? Option A, if it is short positive, option B, long positive, option C, short negative, and option D, zero bed turnover interval. Option A is the right one. Short positive shows optimum utilization. 10th MCQ. In an ABC hospital, almost 20 patients come in the medical department. For outpatient treatment, the number of outdoor patients is considered in hospital utilization statistics. It comes under the umbrella of which of the following component? Option A, workload statistics. Option B, admission rate. Option C, daily census. And option D, hospital care evaluation. Option A is the right one. It comes under workload statistics. This is the key, and thank you.